Hey guys, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Lots of talk about Timo Werner and his recent monumental misses. Here's a little clip from live stream a few days ago where we talked about how Frank Lampard and Timo Werner could perhaps emulate Brendan Rodgers and Jamie Vardy. Let me know what your thoughts are. Boys, let's talk about Leicester. I really want to talk about Leicester because a couple of things. One, their squad, and secondly, Brendan Rodgers. I'll go to Jam this time. Jam, I've always known Brendan Rodgers has been a good manager, but way back from like Swansea days where he was doing magnificent stuff over there. Obviously had the stint with Liverpool where he almost took them to the brinks of winning the league with them at that time. And then obviously there was a bit of a downfall. Then he went to Celtic and he was cleaning up over there as well. But now he's in Leicester and I feel like, let's face it, Leicester's not one of the big clubs in the Premier League. They don't have the big budgets like everyone else. But he's got this Leicester team picking up again since the Claudio Ranieri days where they won the league, where they were looking superb with Kante and Mahrez. And once again, I feel like they've beaten Spurs just, recently or yesterday, I think. What's your thoughts about Brendan Rodgers, as a manager and what the kind of stuff that he's doing in Leicester? And also, do you think this time perhaps they break into the top four?
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers is a quality manager. I think everyone knows that. His track record's pretty damn good. He almost won the league with Liverpool. That was unfortunate, obviously, for them. But, thanks to Chelsea, they didn't. And what he's done is he's revitalised Leicester because they obviously lost a few players from the title-winning team. They kept hold of some. But he's brought in some younger players, some new blood into that team, and he's got them playing almost to the same standards as that title-winning team. Maybe just a little, maybe not as consistent, but they're getting there. That's the thing. It's a work in progress. I think he's fantastic as a manager. He's done really well. What I like about him, we're talking about Bielsa. I think Brendan Rodgers it can adapt. I think if you look at the way they played against Tottenham yesterday, they were on to Tottenham. They were on to them. They broke that bus down, scored first, and just managed them. And Tottenham Spurs were done. Jose was done. He couldn't do anything. But Leicester won't play their next game like that. They're very good at adapting. And you look at the way they beat Man City, where they literally just soaked it all up and then just hit him on the break with Vardy. Yeah. I think it's brilliant. And I think they're more, a team like that is more suited to the Premier League for sure. With a manager like that, I think he's absolutely brilliant. So they could break into the top four. There is absolutely no reason why they won't be able to.
Jay, I want to talk to you about Jamie Vardy, right? There's a lot of comparison between Jamie Vardy and Timo Werner. Do you think, Timo could sometimes, but there's heaps of talks that, Jamie Vardy likes that space behind so he can run into it. Similarly, Timo Werner kind of does as well. Do you think perhaps, Timo could have a bit of look at what Jamie does at times and just see, how Jamie sort of lasted so long in this particular, Premier League situation? What's your thoughts around all of that?
Not really from that perspective, because I don't think Werner needs to learn how to score. Looking at Vardy, amazing, but there's not too much difference in like how they're gonna score. Vardy's obviously more clinical, but he's far more experienced in this league. Actually, it's something that Lampard needs to look at Brendan Rodgers rather than Timo looking at Vardy, because
true.
I wrote about this recently in an article that came out yesterday about Kante, and I actually drew the comparisons between Jamie Vardy and Kante because for me they're the two most similar players in the way that they're used by their managers in the league. And I said that basically Jamie Vardy averages around between 10 and 25 touches per game. 25 rare for Jamie Vardy. That is rare. So all he is he's a man that as he's got older, obviously he's relied on pace. Like he's a strong lad, but his pace and finishing, right? Which is why the comparisons get drawn with Werner. But Vardy, as he's got older, his pace has declined. However, it doesn't look like it because the system that he's now operating in means that he doesn't need to drop deep. He doesn't need to be on the ball. All he needs to do is be on the end of a pass.
Exactly.
And they've put good suppliers in Maddison and Tielemans and whoever else just behind him to play the
Harvey
ball.
Barnes.
Yeah, exactly. And with Kante, you look at Kante's resurgence has been in the deepest line in the midfield, because Kante now doesn't need to do the box-to-box stuff to wear him out. He's just in the position that now he's kind of protected by the people behind him, and Mount as well, who's very functional. So now Kante and Vardy are both allowed to do what they do absolutely best and nothing else really. And for them, doing that is the best way for them to be. So Brendan Rodgers has used Vardy extremely intelligently, because he's an excellent striker. He's still got a burst of pace, but he's not going to be sprinting 50 yards, is he, at full pace now that he's 33. It's not. And the best way to get it out of Vardy long term is to make sure that his role is slightly decreased in terms of build-up play, and to literally be on the end, finishing chances, which he does better than most players in the world. So in my perspective, it'll be, how is Lampard going to look at what Rodgers does to accommodate a player like that? But I think Werner wants to be more involved than Vardy, and that might be sort of a footballing immaturity really, because he has the fitness and the demand to be on the ball. But I personally think it's a Lampard looking at Rodgers, not a Timo looking at
spot on, man. That's so well said. I can't wait to take that clip and use it in the Twitter page, because that's honestly, these are the kind of knowledge that I don't think many people understand. You know, it's so well said that Vardy, as he's getting older, he doesn't want to be involved 24/7 in a match. He just wants to be at the end of stuff and be clinical. And I feel like Werner probably needs to be like that. But that's something what you just said, that Frank needs to understand that maybe that's the best for Werner. And maybe that would reduce all of this indecision sometimes Werner has. And he'll be just thinking, I just got to be clinical. I just got to bang this goal in.
Exactly.
That's it.
All he needs to think is, I'm going to put the ball in the net. Not, do I need to pass, do I need to dribble, do I need to... It's just ball in net. And that's what Vardy does better than anyone.
Exactly.
Put the ball in the net without thinking anything else. And that's because of system as well as...
How many times you boys have seen when Vardy is running straight through, or there's a long ball and it chips in, and Vardy is the first one to beat the defense? You know very well he's going to put it in.
It's a goal every time.
It's going in.
So guys, if you've enjoyed that video, you know what to do. Please, it helps the channel out a lot. Smash that like button right now. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see ya.